When you solve one-step equations, you want to think of a balance beam. And I'm no artist, but you get the idea. The golden rule to solving equations is what you do to one side, you have to do to that other side. So if I add 3 on this side, I have to add 3 to this side as well so that the balance is evenly distributed. If I take 1 away from this side, I too have to take 1 away from the other side so that those beams stay balanced. Let's look at some equations. X plus 5 equals 19. First, I'm going to draw a line through the equal sign. It's not required, but I like to tell kids to draw the line so that they can distinguish amongst the two sides. You solve equations by doing what's called inverse operations. Whatever is being done to the variable x, you want to undo that by doing the reverse, the inverse, the opposite. So x is being, or I'm sorry, 5 is being added to x. I want to do the opposite and subtract 5. Remember, the golden rule of solving equations is what you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. So I'm going to subtract 5 on the other side. 5 minus 5 equals 0, so they cancel out, leaving you with x equals 19 minus 5 is going to be 14. So I got x equals 14. The most important step is to always go back and check your answer. So I'm going to write the original equation, x plus 5 equals 19. And I'm going to substitute in my answer 14 for x. Okay, 14 plus 5 is going to give you 19. And I'm just going to bring my equal sign down and 19. 19 equals 19, so that checks out. Let's look at another equation involving subtraction. And these variables, I typically use x, but you can use any letter that you want, so you don't have to think that x is required when solving equations. You may see x, y, z, anything. Let's do x minus 2 equals 9. Again, I'm going to draw my line through the equal sign to distinguish between the two sides, and I'm going to do the inverse operation. 2 is being subtracted from x, so I'm going to do the opposite of subtracting 2, and I'm going to add 2. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other side as well, so I'm going to add 2 on the other side. Negative 2 plus 2 equals 0, so they cancel out, leaving you with x equals 9 plus 2 is 11. Most important step, go back and check, make sure your answer matches up with the equation. I'm going to write my original equation and I'm going to substitute in my 11 for the value of x. 11 minus 2 gives you 9, and I'm going to bring down my equal sign in the other 9. And 9 equals 9, so that checks out. Sometimes you may not have an equation where the variable is first and then you have a number equaling some other number. Sometimes you may have the number first, then the variable. In that case, you will still do the same thing, but I like to tell my kids that you put the opposite of the number on the side of the variable. So the variable is on the left side with 2. I'm going to put the opposite of 2 right under it, which is negative 2. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. 2 minus 2 is 0, leaving you with x equals 9 minus 2, 7. We're going to check. 2 plus x equals 9. I'm going to substitute in 7 for the value of x. 2 plus 7 equals 9. 9 equals 9. That checks out. You may also get a situation where the answer is first. Now, if you've been watching this video, you may make the mistake of subtracting 9 from both sides because you think that because we start on the left, we always have to start on the left. That's not necessarily the case. You always want to work the side with the variable. The variable is on the right, so we're going to work from the right. 3 is being added to the variable x, so we're going to do the opposite of adding 3, and we're going to subtract 3. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. 9 minus 3 is 6. 3 minus 3 cancels out, leaving you with x, so x equals 6. Most important step is to go back and check. So I'm going to write my original equation, and I'm going to substitute in our answer 6 for the value of x. Okay? 6 plus 3 gives you 9. I'm just going to rewrite my 9 equals. It checks out.